I think this is quite a shocking idea in the sense that I'm not sure children are equipped to handle what they might see. So why do you want them to do it?
Well, for a start, I think we shouldn't be too patronising and I'd say squeamish about what children are capable of handling. But overall, this is a personal view of mine that I think we should spread knowledge and combat misinformation about where our food comes from, because there's an awful lot of that about. There's an awful lot of mistrust around our food, particularly around meat at the moment. And I think knowledge, understanding it, not just at the slaughterhouse, but along the whole food chain, would help us realise how our food gets from farm to fork.
So more information about what happens in slaughterhouses, that's different from having school trips into abattoirs.
It is different, you're right, but I don't see why not. And the other point about this is if we are going to expect animals to be born, to live and to die for our benefit so we can consume them, the least we can do is toughen up and acknowledge their journey and understand that journey and be happy with it or not if we're going to make the choice not to eat meat.
Bryony, the fact of the matter is, if you ask children, we regularly do vox pops of children, they don't actually know often where meat comes from.
No, absolutely.
So maybe opening up that process would give them more of an education. And can I just establish, Tom, you're not speaking as somebody who doesn't eat meat, are you?
You are correct.
No, so you're a meat consumer.
I am.
You don't have a problem with factory farming?
I don't have a problem with factory farming because I think when it comes to meat particularly, you pays your money, you takes your choice. You can choose to go for free-range stuff, but it costs you a lot more. I can't judge those who can't afford to do that.
So let's give children a better education.
Absolutely. Let's give children an education. Let's teach them where meat comes from. All in favour of that. It doesn't come from your local supermarket. It does come from animals. Let's not take them to slaughterhouses. They are children. That is the most repulsive idea I've ever had. And the implications of it really concern me as a head teacher. We already have problems with violence in playgrounds and children reenacting Fortnite. Can you imagine, Tom, I've got 8-year-old boys. They wouldn't be reenacting Fortnite anymore. They'd be out there slaughtering the sheep.
Come on, I thought you were involved in education.
Absolutely, I am. I'm involved in education, not trauma. And I cannot believe there's a merit in trauma.
I mean, would you take kids then to a mortuary to see a human body being dissected to show them what happens when a human being dies?
I think you're confusing what happens as part of our food chat.
It's a simple question. Would you do that?
If they were up for it, yeah, I might.
Do you have kids?
I do have kids.
How old are your kids?
My kids are now quite old. They're late, late teens.
But when they were young, and at school, you would genuinely want to take them to an abattoir and watch, animals being
I would have offered them
cut up and slashed to pieces and all the things, all the horrible stuff we know goes on.
I'm not like some grim Pied Piper of Hamelin that's going to drag, primary school.
Why do they need to see it?
What I'm saying is, by the end of their secondary education, they should have been given a chance. And I think a lot of the reaction here is slightly urban bias, is slightly urban myth. Farming, particularly when it comes to animals, is about birth, sex, death. And a lot of people are quite happy with that. We've got this sort of
human life is about
bubble
that too.
that we should be isolated from.
But human life is like that too. But you don't actually have to physically see it. You have to take your young kids to see their grandparents die. I mean, there are things that you do as a parent, for example, where you protect them
if you want to
from
make
actually the harsh reality of life.
If you want to make that analogy, some people do decide to see their relative when they
I would say very few do that.
Decision.
Very few do, because actually
anyway,
you want to protect them.
I don't want to move this on to humans. This is about animals. This is about the responsibility we have to the animals that we are rearing if we are going to consume them. And it's part of a wider thing about getting to know where our food comes from.
Final word.
Absolutely, it's about that, and absolutely, it's about ethical farming and all of that. But taking children to slaughterhouses is a step too far, and I think it would have the adverse effect. I think we'd have a nation of 8-year-old vegetarians, and actually farmers need people to eat meat, and that's not going to be accomplished by taking them.
Look, it's an interesting debate.